You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Shahs of Sunset After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Shahs of Sunset After Show.
Hi guys, welcome to another AfterBuzz TV after show for the Shahs of Sunset. We're going to be recapping episodes 3, Bad Things Happen When I Eat Salami, and episode 4, Sorry Not Sorry, hence why we're playing the song. I am your host, Michelle Renee, joined with...
Hi, I'm Lyndsey Wegner.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it because we are, of course, recapping 2 episodes, so we want to get through it for you guys and talk about as much as we can. So on episode 3, the episode kind of begins with, I guess, Lily being disappointed that that no one's defended her at the dinner, and no one stood up for her whenever MJ makes the comment, none of these people are your friends. No one stands up for her. So we will discuss that a little bit later, and how that kind of ties into episode 4, because I think these 2 episodes go hand in hand.
I think so too. And they're obviously heading out after the dinner. The whole group is heading out. Reza and MJ and Gigi and Lily, they're all ready to go out and party and enjoy the night. And drama, of course, ensues.
Yeah.
And we've got Gigi dancing with Sean. Sean's checking out a girl. She calls him on it.
Yeah.
And
so they go to this club Playhouse, which is a club in LA.
Yes.
I've been before. And they're at the table. And yeah, she sees her boyfriend look at someone's butt. Maybe she sees it, maybe she doesn't. Do you think she was overreacting?
Yes. I mean, I'm a girl. I understand. Like, I get it. You know, some guy, I'd be like, hey babe, I'd probably grab him and kiss him and not make a big deal about it. But drinking's involved. They've obviously been drinking since dinner, and so I think it got heightened. So I think she was overreacting in my mind, going a little bit overboard for it. But I think she really overreacted when MJ told Sean that, hey, Gigi and Cheyenne at Lily's party had a little make-out sesh, and he really actually didn't seem that much to care. Like, I'm sure it bothered him. He was like, but I don't think he really cared. I don't know how serious their relationship is.
Yeah, and she even mentions that they were like on a break or not on a break.
So not really a big deal.
Yeah. And I think in relationships like that, because I've seen couples in the past that are like on again, off again, on again, off again. And so it does become very convoluted as to when someone can do something and if what they're doing is cheating and if it's technically not. I mean, I say if you're together, you're together. If you're not, then just move on.
Sure. But I feel like there's gray area, especially with, so there may be certain couples that have that gray area. And this obviously was a sore subject for her because MJ telling him this just pissed her off she was really, really, really angry about this. And still, we're in episode 4 now, and she's still angry about it.
She is angry.
She's still bothered by it.
Well, I don't know if in episode 4, I don't know if she's as angry about what actually happened, if she's more so angry that MJ is unwilling to apologize and that Gigi won't admit that what she did is wrong. I don't know how you feel about it, but I am on Gigi's side in this case. I just think there's a girl code as there is with a guy code, and when you're someone's friend, you kind of have to, we've all had friends that have kind of done things behind their boyfriend or girlfriend's back, and as their friend we kind of keep it on the low, and she has no allegiance to Sean, so I don't understand why she would have done it.
I don't think I agree with you. I don't think she should have done it, but at the same time, it didn't break Gigi and Sean up. It wasn't that big of a deal. So at this point, okay, we'll get over it. It's not that big of a deal. But then the fact that Gigi keeps pressuring her, and I'm just like, well, I don't really feel bad about it. I don't see what I did was wrong. At a certain point in that episode today, when I was watching that, I was like, oh my gosh, just apologize. At this point, if your friend's that upset about it, and it was me, but I had done it, and I felt like I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I'm sorry. I know you're upset, but I don't feel like I've done something wrong. If she was really still this upset and it kept continuing, I'd be like, you know what? I'm sorry. It clearly bothered you. I shouldn't have done that. I don't want this to ruin our friendship, and I would apologize. Yeah. So I guess I'm on Gigi's side for the fact that I think MJ did something stupid. I just don't think it was as big of a deal as she was making it out to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's worse because so many other cast members stir the pot. Reza is doing that a lot, like asking, so are you guys okay? Like, and trying to bring them together and forcing this camping trip. And
this whole camping trip that Gigi has with her family. And Gigi even says in the last episode, I'm not going to invite MJ. I'm not ready to do that yet. Only one of us is going to leave alive if I do that. So I'm going to invite Reza. So she invites Reza, and Reza just decides to bring MJ and tell her that she's going on a spa trip. And she has no idea that she's going to go to the camping trip either. So I think it's bad on his part just for doing that, because neither one of them really should be around each other in a family circumstance. Like, that's her family time. Yeah. I would really not want to have to worry about that or deal with that. I think it was bad timing for him. I understand why he's doing it. I also understand it's a TV show. They're creating that. Yeah. But, I mean, it was all brought together at the camping trip then. Heightened even more.
Yeah. And we see it comes into play a little bit also on episode 3 whenever Gigi is kind of, I guess, accusing MJ of not putting enough time and effort into selling her sister's house. Mm-hmm. So we see them at, what is her sister's name? Layla. Okay, I should know that. So they're at Layla's house, and Layla's kind of complaining a little bit to Gigi that MJ hasn't been, working hard enough to sell her house. And then MJ, of course, because she's mad about... Gigi, because she's, of course, mad about the Sean situation, calls MJ to say, you're not selling my sister's house, like...
And she doesn't pick up. MJ actually doesn't pick up when Gigi calls, but when Layla calls, then she picks up right away, which is... Yeah. We do that.
Yeah, and I just thought that Layla kind of stirred the pot again. I think that was an example of her stirring the pot, And then whenever... MJ got on the phone, she totally backed down and was like, no, I agree. There is a lot of drama with my case, and I understand why you haven't been doing this.
And I think that was smart on her part, though, because I think maybe she forgot that she does have all these issues with the house, with her husband, with the children, with all these things that have to kind of be aligned. And if she's not providing proper documentation to MJ, well, then MJ can't sell her house. She needs all those documents in order to do that. So I think that kind of made her realize, oh, well, yeah, MJ actually is right. I do need to get these things for her. And I think she was just being fair. You have to separate the business and the friendship in that relationship and say, this is business, know? And I think that's the way that MJ's looking at it. This is business. I'm not going to not help you because I'm mad at your sister. But clearly, Gigi wants to kind of try and turn it into that, maybe.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. And I think that Gigi was kind of cutting off her nose despite her face a little bit, because MJ, she luckily did the right thing and didn't say, you know what, I'm not going to even help you anymore because I don't want to deal with your sister, to Layla. But what if MJ would have had that reaction? What if she would have said, you know what, deal with it yourself? Then she would have been, left with even more drama and even more things to deal with. So I think that, Gigi definitely should have taken that into consideration and kind of put her sisters and her nieces and nephews' well-being before this petty drama that she has.
Absolutely.
About Sean.
Absolutely. I just, that's more important than the boyfriend. And I thought that, in all honesty, MJ made a great point when they were camping, and she goes, who do you think's going to last longer, me or Sean? And Gigi goes, well, I really don't know. Well, I think Gigi's already dating some other guy right now, and she's in a serious relationship with some other guy that she apparently tweets to all the time. They share super cute tweets back and forth right now. So we obviously know Sean doesn't stick around the whole episode, and that MJ, I don't know what their friendship is like now, but she makes a point. That's why it's kind of difficult to really just, that's why I said this whole thing just got completely blown out of proportion. and was made into a bigger deal than it really, really was. Just my opinion.
Yeah,
But
I agree. It's definitely, and I mean, that happens a lot with reality television. It just, a mountain is made out of a molehill. And obviously that, brings viewers in, and that creates more drama. And that's what these shows are all about. And that's what drives the shows. So it's kind of like, we have to have the drama, even though it's so petty and oftentimes just unnecessary.
But I loved the rafting trip. I
did
loved
too.
them. I mean, that's when you're rafting, that's teamwork. Completely, because you have to trust the people that you're with, that you're gonna, move through these rapids and stuff. It looked like they had a ton of fun.
Yeah.
They were all playing around the water. I had to laugh at Reza pushing, MJ into the water, and then Reza going in and him being like, he said he was a hippie.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really it was. Even though there was drama, I thought that was a really good team building for all of them. And
I wanted to be there. Like when they were on the trip, I found myself saying I was actually smiling watching the episode, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind being on this rafting trip and having fun. What did you think about Reza? Gets a lot of gets negative attention for some of the comments he makes that kind of seem like they're casually racist, or maybe kind of targeting, I don't know, he used to call women bitches a lot, and he used to get a lot of crap for that. So what do you think about the constant comments he kept making during the camping trip about this being super white, or camping is so white? Do you think, how do you think fans are going to react to that?
I mean, obviously you can't just push it under the rug, because it's clearly an issue, and if you keep saying it's gonna bother people. I didn't even notice it, because I feel like in Los Angeles we just hear so much, and we're around so many different races and so many different wonderful, amazing people, that I think people throw away these comments without really thinking about them. And if you're around, and obviously he was around all Persian people, so he probably thinks, well, no one's really hearing me, not realizing cameras are on you, they're catching every bit of this, so all of America is going to see you saying this.
Yeah.
So I'm sure at the time he probably didn't mean it, but it's one of those things that he'll end up apologizing for in his blog.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think it makes him racist to say camping is white, but I just think that he, especially with all the drama that he's had in the past because of comments he's made, I think that he has to kind of filter himself a little bit, and he doesn't do that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've only been camping once or twice, literally, and one time it was in the backyard. We literally put tents in our backyard because there was really no place we really would go camping ever. We had bonfires a lot.
Yeah.
I've
never been camping. And I'm black, so maybe there's some truth to it. But
yeah, I mean, we're not a good description of whether camping is.
I mean, I would go camping. I wouldn't hate it. It just has never come up in my life. So I don't know.
Are you from a big city?
Oh no, I'm from a very country
small
town where
me too.
people would go camping, and I just have never been camping. It's never been something that is, I don't know, but I guess it maybe is one of those things where the group in power maybe can't be discriminated against. I mean, they can, but a lot of times it gets swept under the rug, because it's obviously Caucasian Americans are the majority group in the United States. So if he were to make a comment oh, that's so black, then it would be racist. Or if someone white were to make a comment about, oh, that's so Persian, then it would be a problem. But when someone makes a comment about
it
whites
being the
because
majority
they're in power, it's their comments don't have as much power.
I mean, unfortunately, I didn't even catch it.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really sad, but it's not meant to be.
No, it was just me, being over analytical of the show, because that's why we're here to just
absolutely.
So maybe I'm stirring the pot a little bit. But head over to iTunes, guys, and tell us what you think about Reza's comments. Were they racist? Were they malicious? Was it unintentional? Rate and comment on our after show. We'd love to hear what you have to say, and you can also forward any questions you might have to us that we can answer on next week's after show. And that's at iTunes. You can search AfterBuzz TV, Shahs of Sunset, and also follow AfterBuzz on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. All right.
Awesome. So let's move on to Mike's brother's party.
Yeah, that was a big part of episode 3.
Mm-hmm. And how excited his family was for his brother graduating from dental school, and how they have, doctors and lawyers in their family, and Mike feels a little bit left out being in the real estate. And this episode we learned that he really almost feels like a failure sometimes in his mother's eyes, and it's really upsetting to him. And I guess I see a little bit of that, because I moved to Los Angeles and I came out here to pursue acting and hosting, and my parents are supportive of it, but it was something that they never really planned that I was going to do. So, they'll say, oh, we would love to have you back home, and I appreciate those comments knowing that they love me and they want me around. But sometimes I can feel that, like, well, maybe I'm not making them proud because I don't have a steady, stable job. Like I had originally thought, well, maybe I would become a psychiatrist. And that to them is like, oh, she'll have a steady income, she'll be able to take care of herself, and all these things will fall into place. And I choose a career that's very sporadic and random, and we hear a lot of no's. So I definitely understood how Mike felt, that both his brothers have done a lot with their lives and are dentists and lawyers, and he's doing real estate, which is a great and responsible job.
Do you have siblings?
I have a younger brother, and he's in a rock band.
Okay, so
he travels literally the world and is in a band. The Hussy, check it out. They're amazing.
Well, I mean, at least it's not. I mean, I don't know. Like for you and your brother, it's like you both are doing artistic things. So I think that makes it a little bit more easier probably for your parents to deal with versus if you had a brother that was like a neuroscientist or something like that would probably make you feel a little insecure. And I think that's what Mike feels. It's like even though he's doing what he loves, real estate, and even though he doesn't seem to be disappointed in his decision to leave school, I think that he feels insecure just because of not only his parents, but also the pressure that seems to be in the Persian community to have, a fabulous career. Because we even see Asa's parents last season, her mom kind of urging her, you need to go be a nurse. This, all of this artistic stuff that you're doing is not going to cut it. So my question was, okay, because he's, like you said, a real estate agent. That's an honest, nice career. I'm sure he's making
great money.
So is it more to do with what you, like, are his parents disappointed because he's not a doctor or a lawyer, or because he's not making enough money? Like, is it more so what you do or how much money you make, or do they care?
I think it's the mentality of the community surrounding them, and that the majority are doctors in highly intelligent fields, where there's a doctor, there's a lawyer, there's major schooling, there's major testing. So I feel like maybe it's the pressure from the community so that their family maybe is looked down upon because their son is not doing it. I think that's where it comes in, because I don't think the money thing's an issue, because I think from seeing last season's show, Asa wanted to take care of her parents. So clearly her parents aren't super duper wealthy, but live a very honest and make a living doing what they need to do. But Asa always talked about wanting to take care of them. So I don't think it's really about the money thing. I think it's more about the fact that they want
a doctor or a lawyer.
It's like a set plan that when they're having children, the decision's already been made for them.
Yeah.
Which would be really, tough. I mean, that would be really hard to deal with, and you'd feel like a failure. And I loved seeing Mike's open communication with his mom and talking about it and really getting into his feelings about the whole thing. And went to see her face when she saw the bus, and she was so proud. What did you think about that?
I mean, I think that his mom is just demonstrating tough love, and I don't know if it's necessarily that she is ashamed of him being a realtor, but I think that she's maybe concerned about his future. I think she wants him to be able to provide for a family. She wants him to have a nice life, and so maybe that's where her anxiety about his career is coming from. I don't think it's necessarily her being like, oh, you're making us not, we're not proud of you.
So you think it has to do with the money?
Not the money, but maybe just the stability. And I don't know, maybe because she says whenever the bus pulls up, and I totally agree with this comment, she says, I don't think that bus is going to help him sell a house. And it's all about, like, if you're a real estate agent, that's your job, is to sell houses. And so, I mean, maybe she's taking into consideration the housing market and how it fluctuates. I mean, I don't know, but I just think that as a mother, sometimes, well, I'm not a mother, but sometimes moms can seem unsupportive, but they have a bigger picture in their head. They've lived way longer than we have. They understand so much more than maybe a child does.
Wow, I feel like you just delved into my mom's mind right now.
Your mom called me before the show.
Mom, wow. Whew. It's like deep, but that's true. I think you're absolutely right. It does. Maybe it seems to the child unsupportive at the time, but you're right. Maybe it's just they have this idea planned for you and they're just looking out for your well-being, knowing that they've been around. They know what's going on. They know how tough it is. So I think you're right. I think
with age comes wisdom, I guess, like they say.
Absolutely.
And my thing about the bus is that it had their Twitter handles on the side. Like, am I going to tweet you 140 characters? My house is in Bel Air and is 17 bedrooms. Like, it seemed more like it was promoting them as
show.
TV. The show and them as TV personalities. It says Shah's Reality Group. It had their Twitter handles on it and then pictures of them. It didn't scream real estate. Yeah, to me.
I agree with you 100%. I think that, it was definitely more to promote them than to promote their business.
Yeah.
And to make, we know them because we watch reality TV, we watch Bravo and stuff. I don't know what the majority of Los Angeles does, but they see two people on the side of a bus and they see, reality. They're not thinking, oh, I'm going to go buy real estate from them then.
Yeah.
Even if they're dressed in nice suits and, I just don't think it really sells the real estate. And his mom was probably spot on with that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I will say, though, that I think... we haven't seen interactions with Mike's mom and his other siblings as much, but based off what we see on this show, it seems like he's the favorite son.
I think so too. I loved seeing Jessica coming in last week and taking the role that his mom was playing and being her assistant. I thought that was so cute, and getting her, hair and makeup done, and it absolutely looks like he's their favorite.
He's the favorite child. So
absolutely.
I think that's interesting that we see this juxtaposition between his mom kind of ripping him a new asshole at lunch, and then her treating him like a little prince and saying do tella or whatever she said last season about the golden penis or.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah,
and he's not the youngest.
Yeah, he's in the middle.
Usually the baby might be the little favorite or whatever, but no, I think he's in the middle. Yeah, so very interesting. Very interesting point. So more about the party.
Yeah, the party. We kind of got a digression there, but the party, it looked fun.
Asa looked amazing. Her dress was gorgeous. I loved seeing her all dressed up and in something a little bit more sophisticated.
Don't get me started on that girl's outfit.
But she looked good, didn't she?
She did look very good at the party.
She looked beautiful.
And what I made a note about this. Asa, I think, is trying too hard in the confessionals to look very Middle Eastern. And she wears these crazy ass outfits that just look like the thing that was over her head over her face, over her nose. It was a movie where someone had gotten chemical, a nuclear explosion. It was like a comedy. Does anyone know the movie that I'm talking about? It was some comedy movie, and someone there was a Chernobyl victim or whatever in the movie, and she had a thing over her nose because she had this huge nose as a deformity. Anyway, and that's what it reminded me of. And then in other confessionals, the one where she's in the yellow and she's kind of blending into the background a little bit.
And then she's got the little headpiece with the jewels and stuff on it. That's why it was nice to see her
in something
that was fitted and pretty and a little bit more mainstream and not so I'm the pop priestess, I do diamond water, I do all these other things, which is great to promote and to really believe in what you're doing. She's going all in, obviously, which is, you got to give her credit for that. But I really, really thought she just looked stunning at the party, and I would love to see more of her
looking like that. Yeah, I agree that I just think she should go with one or the other. If she wants to do the whole Middle Eastern pop priestess thing, that's fine. But to me, it just seems like she's trying to come across as she's thinking that the confessional is really her time to show that she's, Persian, and she's really gonna embody that with her wardrobe. And she goes out to lunch or to parties and she's in short, tight fit and right. Every other scene we saw in episode 4, she had a short dress on, a low cut dress, and that's fine. But then why do you not wear that in confessional? Why do you think you have to be so extreme in confessional?
Yeah, when
it's a little contrived to me.
When she was going to that gallery, that dress was super short. Camera angle, I was like,
yes,
I'm going to see something right now.
The black and white one?
The black and white striped dress. I was like, whoa, I'm going to see something right now when they were walking into that gallery.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
And then they go to the confessional, and then she's got the thing. I'm like, wait, what?
That's not the same person.
Exactly. And now she's got to get her whole thing put together in 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's going to take months. which will be interesting to see what it is.
I think the pop priestess is still finding herself. As much as she probably wants us all to think that she is just at this perfect place of like kumbaya, I think that she's very much still trying to figure out what she wants to do with things.
I think so too.
Yeah.
She's dabbling in all of it right now.
Yeah. But she did look great at the party.
She looked great at the party. So back to the party.
Yeah, the party.
Back to the party. Giant feast, everything. You know, MJ's there, Gigi's there. There's tension between them at the party. No one really wants to concentrate on this because it's the party and they're throwing petals at each other. It just...
And Gigi makes the comment, I'm working on myself, so I'm really going to try to stay calm. And I'm like, but you're not demonstrating that you're working on yourself. You're acting like a coconut right now. Just reel it in. It's someone's party. And I know that they're all very close with each other's families, but I feel like they have no regard for, like, even the camping trip when they're kind of, like, exchanging words at the bonfire or at the party when they're throwing petals and there's clearly drama. Like,
there's
it's a family
around.
Event. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me how she could do that. And she'd be like, well, she didn't talk to me. She didn't say hi to me. She said hi to Layla. She didn't say hi to me. Well, she hasn't gotten to you yet.
Yeah.
You were just trying to start drama. Just, if you stop making those little comments, she'll probably come to you. But I mean, if it was me and somebody was making those comments, I'd probably do the same thing MJ did and just was like, what? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like, it works both ways.
Childish.
Like, if you see someone that you know, you can go up to them. If they see you, they can come up to you. So it's not automatically MJ's fault because she didn't say hello. I mean, Gigi didn't give her a chance. I think she did just want to start something, yeah, which happens. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I did write down that Gigi mentions when she's leaving the party that MJ has her best friend back, so she doesn't need her. And I do think there's some truth to that. And I would say that could potentially bite MJ in the butt.
I think so, too, especially since Reza has turned on MJ in the past and went to Lily right away, no questions asked. And all of a sudden now they're back and friends. And MJ, it seems, has forgiven him right away. And she really seemed to be pissed off at Reza last year, but not really fighting for the relationship with him. And now all of a sudden he's back and she's forgiven this. And Gigi was there for her that whole time.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think it's going to bite her in the butt. I think that's where the major drama is going to be this season. When they do the blowout fight, it's going to be between MJ and Gigi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's so disheartening to see that MJ and Reza are kind of ganging up on Gigi a little bit. Not
pushing her buttons.
Yeah. And I mean, that is just like, I understand if two people have drama, but for people to kind of, team together and make another feel alienated, I think Reza should try to play the peacemaker, and instead he just stirs the pot.
That's what I was just going to say. You hit the nail on the head. He just stirs the pot the whole time, just saying, are you guys good? Have you guys fixed it yet?
Yeah.
That's only creating more drama. Let them work it out on their own. Be the peacemaker. Be the person in the middle that's saying, hey, we want all of us to hang out. Hey, Gigi, MJ's going to come with me. MJ, we're actually not going to spa. We're going to go see Gigi. So both of you clear your minds so that we can come together and be in a good place. But instead... So...
All right.
So
episode 4.
Episode 4. No, yeah. Let's talk about Asa and Lily, since Lily was kind of disappeared in episode 3. We just saw her for a little bit complaining about
her weight loss. She's trying to gain weight, and I okay, we get it. She's like a size 0, and she's complaining that she's not able to gain weight. This is in episode 3, and it's like. That was such a disingenuous moment. It wasn't like her really trying to, admit that she has struggles with weight gain. It was more so in an angle of her being like, I can't even gain weight and I'm skinny and fabulous. Hated it.
And then she orders mac and cheese and salad and pizza and all these things. And they go, okay, that's it. And she goes, oh, no, that's just for me. And then he's got to order his food. Yeah. And that's all we saw of her that episode. And just her saying that she's become a person she hates. Because she's now arguing with everybody, and that's not what she wanted. That's a side of her she didn't want to be. But that's all we saw of her last episode.
Yeah. And in this episode, we didn't see that much either.
No, we didn't.
See her at lunch with Asa, because I guess she wants to confront Asa for not sticking up for her at
the
dinner whenever MJ says none of these people are your real friends, and Asa doesn't say anything. So do you think that Lily is accurate in thinking that Asa should have stuck up for her or not?
It all goes back to the fact that these people have all known each other for a very long time. You know, Asa, Reza, MJ, Gigi, and Mike have all been friends for what it seems like years and have known each other in the Persian community before even the show started taping. So they've been friends for a while. I mean, Reza and MJ have been friends for 20 years, haven't they? Mm-hmm. So some of them have been friends for a really, really long time. So if a new person comes into the group, I kind of agree, well, you kind of have to earn that space. And you're still building a friendship at that time. You guys are new friends. So if one of your other friends says, hey, you're not really anyone's friend, I can understand Asa being the peacemaker saying, I don't want to get involved right now. I don't want to start any more drama. I just want to let it go. At the same time, I see Lily's point that she could have been, MJ, I am Lily's friend and I'm your friend as well. Yeah. She doesn't need to leave. So I do understand Lily's perspective. At the same time, I think that this once again is another, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It was a dinner. You guys all got in a fight. And I think right now the way that everyone is looking at it is the whole Lily's birthday party. I think they're all really, really mad at Lily for turning MJ away the way she did.
Yeah.
When MJ made an effort to say, okay, yes, I want to come. I want to RSVP. And then Lily was like, well, you can't.
Yeah.
I think they're holding a little bit of a grudge against her because of that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it was unrealistic for Lily to expect Asa to have defended her. Maybe if it was Reza. Because, I mean, Asa's personality is, you know, calm, cool, and collected. She's very quiet, especially when something's not involving her. So I just don't think that Asa would have been the one to defend her. Maybe if it was Reza, she could have said, hey, Reza, you should have stuck up for me because Reza's a loudmouth. But I mean, she has to know who she's, you know, talking to, I guess, and who she's, you know, trying to have defend her. And Asa's just not that person. I don't think it was anything necessarily against Lily. I think Asa would have done the same thing had someone questioned her friendship with any other cast member on the show.
I agree with you.
So she shouldn't take it personal.
I also don't think that Reza would have defended her because obviously he made the whole decision about bringing MJ to the party, and then, you know, he's obviously her friend. He's sitting there and they're laughing and stuff. I don't think he would have defended her. So I think she knew better than to even ask him and say, hey, I feel like you didn't defend me at that party. I think she knows better, but he'd be like, well, sorry.
I just don't understand why no one stands up to Reza. Reza, I mean, as nice as fun as he is for the show, he's a great cast member. He's reality TV gold.
He's a leader.
But the way he handles these friendships is very shady. And if I had a friend that acted the way he did, I would not be their friend anymore. And I definitely would have given them a piece of my mind a long time ago. And the way he's treated Lily, he hasn't been the best friend to her. The way he treated MJ last season, I mean, why does no one stand up to him and say, Reza, what you're doing is, you know, not right?
I feel like he's very disingenuous with people, and he's very fake with people. And maybe when it serves his purpose, like it did with Lily in the beginning when she was trying to buy, you know, real estate, that's when they kind of came into contact. So at that point, well, it served him, and she had all these nice things. So it's like shiny ball syndrome. Ooh, she's something new. I like it. And then push aside somebody else because you're not really a good friend. It's not that MJ's not a good friend. It's that you're not a good friend.
Yeah.
And he really, I mean, I wonder when it comes down to it, how much he really cares about these other people. I don't really know if he really does.
I don't know if he does
And no
either.
one has said anything to him. No one stands up to him.
And that's more so my question is just like, I mean, I get it. Some people are just shady and that's their personality, and maybe that's just Reza. But I'm wondering why no one has said anything to him. Why everyone just lets him get away with it. Because I think that if people were to bring it to his attention, hey, Reza, what you do that when you do that, it makes you look like a bad friend. I think that maybe he would change the way he is. Maybe he would realize what he's doing isn't the best thing. But no one's even brought it to his attention. Are they scared of him because he does have such a sharp tongue, or what?
Do you think something happened from last season to this season that he actually fixed his friendship with MJ?
I think that they probably did fix their friendship just because, you know, they have been friends for such a long time. Their friendship last season did go through such a hard time. And between the seasons, I'm sure that people pointed out to them, hey, you guys have been friends for so long, don't let this go. And maybe that's what brought them back together.
I think you're right. I think that the history that they have came into play, and he realized, it wasn't worth it. But I don't know if I was MJ, if I'd trust that he wouldn't backstab me again.
Yeah. But even last season, like, she never said anything to him, really. She just let him.
She got mad at him in the office one time, didn't she? And she yelled at him, and then she left.
And she would be so desperate to be his friend again. She was like it was like they were in a dysfunctional relationship, and he was the verbally abusive husband. And she just came back for more and more and more and wanted to be his friend so badly. And that's not a good situation for anybody. I don't care if it's 2 girls, 2 guys, whatever. If someone's being a bad friend, you need to, number 1, let them know, and number 2, let them go.
That whole scene last season when they were on vacation was just, it makes me sick to my stomach thinking about how he was treating her. Just not okay. And I'm not saying it's not forgivable, because I believe if people are truly sorry, then they deserve to be forgiven. But that was really, really, really bad. So, I mean, I think you're right. I think she's just so desperate to have him back in her life that she's willing to just kind of let it all go and push her friendship with Gigi aside. But I think Gigi's also a ticking time bomb. So I don't know how easy it would be to have a friend that's literally on guard at all times, ready to start conflict. Yeah. She just doesn't care. She's just ready to start conflict. She's one of the main ones that is. And Reza too.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Gigi and Reza get along, because they're both ready for whatever. Where Asa, Lily, Mike, and MJ are all a little bit more peacekeepers. All would rather just let things go and not make a big deal about it.
What I have noticed about Gigi that relates to what you just said is that I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of the things she says. I do agree with the points she makes. But she's always so, like, hype and intense with it that it loses its effect, because no one's going to listen to you if you're, acting a fool. You get your point across so much better in an argument if you're calm and cool with
and can
it.
Explain yourself.
And she needs to stay poised. She goes from 0 to 60 just like that. Mm-hmm. Instead of being calm, explaining her point. And I think that's kind of where she loses me. And that's kind of where I'm like, I'm done with her, just because she is so volatile.
Well, we haven't seen a major blowout from her yet this season. I feel like it's coming, but we haven't seen it yet. But she's definitely a lot better this season with it than she was last season, when she's starting fights, when she's got the knife in her hands and all that stuff. Sure, she talks a big game about how, if one person comes, the other person's not going to leave type thing. But there hasn't been that fear of violence like we saw a little bit last season.
Yeah. I'm sure it's coming.
I'm sure it's coming. Anything else about the episode?
So Mike and his mom, we already kind of commented on that. Mike and his mom. Did you?
That. Let's see here.
And then the camping trip to kind of.
Yeah, the camping. We'll kind of close out the camping trip, and both of them unresolved. At this point, it feels like it's really unresolved. The last thing I wrote was Sean versus MJ, who will last longer.
Who do you think will last longer? That's a very good question.
MJ.
MJ.
Clearly, we already know that Gigi's got another new boyfriend. So she's out. Well, we don't know, but we also don't know if MJ's in Gigi's life. So we don't really know.
I think neither. Yeah. I think the best answer to that question is neither. But I guess what MJ was trying to say is like chicks before dicks or whatever, Bros before a hose.
Friendship before a relationship that may not, that's brand new, where you've known me for years. I'm here for you. I'm going to call you on your stuff. Granted, she shouldn't have done it, but she's real. She's honest with her. At least what you can say about MJ is that she's honest with her. She's real with her. She's not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Gigi. But.
And another comment that this is kind of going back to the whole Reza being shady situation is in Confessional, when he says that MJ has a way of not admitting that she's wrong and trying to make you think that what she did was to benefit you. And so, that was another example. It's like, if you're supposed to be her friend, then why are you throwing shade behind her back in Confessional? Because she's going to see the episode. Mm-hmm. They're all going to see this. This is going to come back to haunt you.
All of them in the reunion. That's what they'll all discuss. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting, too, that Layla was sitting there going, she can't apologize, can she?
Yeah.
She just can't apologize. And there are people out there that have a really, really, really difficult time apologizing.
Yeah.
And maybe MJ's one of those. So if Gigi has continued to see this throughout their friendship, I can understand Gigi's anger even more if this is a continued situation.
Yeah. Maybe MJ's inability to apologize has something to do with her relationship with her mother. Her mother also has a very hard time apologizing. And as we've seen last season, pretty much does not admit her wrongdoing in ruining MJ's childhood. So I mean, like mother, like daughter, maybe.
I'm sure that's probably where it's come from. You learn those habits and over time, and you have to really work on something to change that.
Yeah. And I mean, I think MJ is a genuine person. Of all the cast members, she's probably my favorite. And I think that if anyone has the ability to change and see the faults they have, I think it is her. So I'm not losing hope in her just yet. And hopefully one day she'll be able to admit that she's wrong.
Well, good. Do we want to talk about some predictions then?
Yeah.
Talk about predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So in our little clip for next week's episode, we see Mike and Reza going, Mike's hair is thinning, and we see MJ and her mom golfing, which was a cute scene, and her mom actually admitting she's doing something good. So maybe this relationship is on the mend. I hope that it is. I hope that they can develop a better relationship. I think MJ is completely open to a more healthy relationship with her mother. Obviously, they've been to counseling together, so that'd be great to see. And what I was super excited to see in the next episode is that some guy, wherever Reza is, does stand up to him.
Yeah.
So I want to see where that fight is going. And I couldn't tell who else was in the scene. Obviously, they try and keep you guessing as much as possible. But I wonder if Mike's there, if Asa's there, or somebody's there. But it looks like somebody's going to go up against Reza, and Reza's not having it.
Wow.
So, but I hope to see it. I do. As much as Lily is crazy and just over the top, I do like seeing her. I mean, she's an interesting character. So I definitely like seeing her, and I've honestly really missed her, even though I don't necessarily agree with her. I definitely have missed her in these last 2 episodes. So I hope she's back a little bit more prominent in the next couple episodes.
My prediction for next week, we saw the clip of Asa kind of working on her installment or art presentation or whatever it's called. And I think it's going to be very similar to the performance she had last year of all of her songs or whatever, in that she's going to be rushing around, trying to get it together, very stressed out about it, which I don't really like to see because she's supposed to be the pop priestess, so I think she needs to stay calm, and sometimes she doesn't do that whenever she's faced with a challenge like a musical performance or an art show. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
And I think we'll be seeing that for a few episodes. So
Yeah.
All right, do you have any gossip?
I don't. You do, right?
I have a bunch of gossip on wetpaint.com.
AfterBuzz TV
Sorry about
News.
that.
Gossip. Sorry, guys. Gigi posted a picture and video on her Instagram of her getting lip injections, saying, "I'm having a big birthday party next week, so I went back to Amazing Doctor for a little pucker." Commenting on the video, she says, "Yes, I get work done, and no, I don't give a what you think. Hate on."
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it, girl. If you want to get it, go get it. Whatever. And then, according to realityt.com, Lily realized that she doesn't belong on the Shahs of Sunset. She took to her Bravo blog to complain about MJ, and then she started to diss the group as a whole and question whether or not the show, people, or drama are for her. She's quoted, "Do something constructive and positive with your life, time and energy, instead of worrying about such petty things in life," concluding, "I'm done." I agree with her on that. Put your energy towards positive things. It's always a better way. It's a happier, easier life for you. Cut the drama out.
But I don't think she'll be done.
I don't think she's done either.
No.
She's into this. This show has skyrocketed her, so I don't think she's done. And lastly, according to wetpaint.com, Lily Ghalichi gushed that she's got a new boyfriend. She said that they have great chemistry. It isn't that serious yet, but the energy is amazing. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing him because they were done filming by the time they started dating, which is only a month and a half ago.
Oh,
But
well, good for
new
her.
boyfriend, so she's found love after that long relationship, and she deserves it.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps us up.
Yeah. All right, so where can we find you?
You guys can find me on my blog at lyndseyWegner.blogspot.com and my Facebook and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner. My show here in Los Angeles, Babes in Toyland, is opening this weekend, so to find more details, check out my blog, Facebook, or Twitter, and you guys can always see me at Supernatural at 10 p.m. Where can they find you, Michelle?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michelle Renee LA, and on a few other AfterBuzz TV shows like Heart of Dixie and also Vanderpump Rules, which airs right before this one. All right, so have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
See you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.